Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast. A slight little detour, some extra smaller side content I thought I'd try and delve into, a bit of experimentation in that sense. In this case, a small video sort of highlighting, well, what does the collector's edition get you? It'll be a 3-part since not all of it is actually coming out yet, so it'll be a sort of 3-parter. Also looking over some of the commanders, so a sense also commander DLC review bit, so a bit of a mix of two things. Feel free to give me feedback in the comments. What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What would you like to see? I mean, that's just as important. What would you like to see in the future? What sort of small videos would you like to see? And I've got some sort of stuff here, small commander variations with sort of divisional core layouts for the fun of it as well. I can even make a video of that if you want, with sort of ideas how to sort of get something realistic out of that. Anyways, what does the collector's edition get you? I mean, you get this sort of little thing here, nice collector's edition badge. You get this, I mean, in that sense, not overwhelming, but it's a nice touch. What more specifically you probably want, also to get is, of course, for example, all of these skins. I mean, you just get, I think it's about 25 all in all, which, encompass, well, I think all in all 3 sets. You, for example, get the final one in, for example, the 2-tone Bryansk front set, where you actually don't have it for the heavy, but actually have to purchase it otherwise. You get the 3-color Leningrad front, you get the 3-color Northwestern front, you get a winter whitewash Voronezh front, and some other fun bits. So in all, I mean, that sense you get quite a bit. Same with the Germans. You get the late war factory pattern, you get 3-color ambush pattern, 4-color disruptive pattern, and winter ambush pattern. Yeah, quite good ones, and in fact I quite like some of them. So I mean, you can get a nice bit of variety if you want out of it yourself. Although I'm not such huge on the late war factory pattern. It looks a bit too candy striped to me. Personal favorites and all that. And again, I can't really come in and review because it's it's a matter of taste. Some will like this, some will like the other. You can sort of try and get something historical out of it as well if you want to. And of course we have the commanders, and I'll start with the Germans because currently they're the shorter of the two lists. You get the Joint Operations Commander, we'll just slap him up there, all cheerful looking there. Bit of a support weapons, artillery officer, he's got reconnaissance overflight, artillery, pack, howitzer, a light artillery barrage. I mean, he's quite handy. I mean, he's obviously not the fast striking officer, he's more of a ponderous, heavy strike officer, but you can actually get a lot out of him with the artillery officer. And the howitzer, can really, for example, get a lot of that howitzer. The Pack 43, quite handy if you ever face armor, and reconnaissance overflight, of course, also is useful alongside light artillery barrage. So in that sense, if you're not a swift player, if you're more of a slow one, or one that prefers to play support, Joint Operations is quite handy. And then we come out to Spearhead Doctrine, which I actually use considerably more, one of my favorites. In fact, I mean, it's actually a really good doctrine. You get the Panzer Tactician, one of my favourites. You get the Mortar Half-Track, you get Reconnaissance Overflight, you get Tiger Tank, although I'm a bit iffy on that, and you get the Fragmentation Bomb. I mean, just the 4 of those without the Tiger Tank, I mean, are quite a potent combination. Panzer Tactician is great. Mortar Half-Track if you're using it only for the incendiary rounds, because again, German mortars are a bit at the moment. Otherwise, great. Reconnaissance Overflight can always give you an idea of what's going on with your opponent, where to go, where not to go. And of course, Fragmentation Bombing on it's just great for tearing up clumps of enemy concentration, or just taking out that one annoying field gun. So in that sense, I quite like the Spearhead Doctrine. It's definitely one of my favourites, and it's definitely currently one of the more handy German ones. Popping over to the Soviets, what do we get? I mean, we get the anti-infantry tactics. I'm a bit not so sure about this gentleman. I mean, he's clearly not one for tearing up infantry. You get shock troops, recon, flamethrower tank, incendiary barrage, and the fear propaganda artillery, although I'm not so sure on that. I mean, it can be quite handy, and of course, reconnaissance overflight, shock troops, flamethrower tank can certainly work for nice. It's probably more of a 2 versus 2 team game doctrine than perhaps 1 for fighting up 1 versus 1. I mean, some of those doctrines can be a bit more towards that. Then you get the conscript support, really strong doctrine, again for working around with conscripts. Lots of abilities to just really aid your usage of doctrines. Hit the dirt, repair kits, submachine guns, rapid conscription, and of course the incendiary artillery barrage is just handy. Then we move on, and this one is actually one I've got from being at Relic. It's also going to be part of the later 5 commanders that will appear Tuesday. In fact, I'll be doing the second video around there. But Tuesday we'll be getting more, and including this fellow, the mechanized support tactics. I'll be handing out the last codes I have to those that do not have the collector's edition, of course, because it's going to be a bit silly otherwise. But you get Guards Rifle Infantry, Anti-Tank Gun Ambush, Marked Vehicle, IC-152, Bombing Strike, all in all, powerful doctrine. Not so sure about it. 1 versus 1 being a team game. It's going to be very useful. It can really be used to support your teammates with Marked Vehicles, Guards Infantry, and of course the IC-152, always a devastating bastard. And just sort of get an idea how he looks. There you go. And then we finally get to the unique one, the one nobody else has currently. We have Terror Tactics. He's a very ponderous late game one. You got 1 point for shock troopers, and then it's howitzers, flamethrower tanks, propaganda artillery, and bombing strike. I mean, he's definitely not one for the early game. He's one for the late game, but on the other hand, he can really dominate there if you know how to handle him properly. How you do so, on the other hand, is a bit more of a question to me. I haven't really had much usage of him yet, but you get howitzers, flamethrower tanks, that can certainly have its advantages, and of course the bombing strikes. I mean, you can really lay down a lot of damage, and it's probably more of a team game doctrine where you can sort of, you know, hide some of all the big things there. Although I suppose you could use it in a 1 versus 1, although it's going to be a bit trickier, a bit more unwieldy, but it can work. And then of course there's the next 5 commanders. Tuesday I'll be doing a sort of video on that. And you get of course also all the previous Communist games, of course you already have them, no worries. If you don't, you know, you get a great deal, because Communist is great. So no problems there, to be honest. And of course you also get another series of not Tales of Valor, but Theatre of War content. This sort of stuff which I have not delved in so much. Currently we have 1941. We'll likely be getting 1942 or something other more specific. There'll basically be a bundle of stuff coming out later on, which we will be getting access to as part of the collector's edition. I don't know what specifically though, but I imagine we will find out. So that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope you got an idea of what the collector's edition is all about. If you actually enjoyed it, if there's something you actually want from it, you know, you can always get the upgrade on Steam. Doesn't cost that much. On the other hand, if you just want some of the commands, if you're a bit unsure, are they worth it? I mean, I've just given you my opinion. You know, some commanders, you know, don't fit all players. I mean, some might, you know, be like, well, why do I need the conscript support? I don't use them very much. And of course, you're free to move on. On the other hand, some might say, well, that sounds pretty damn great. I'll be buying that. Thanks, Dane. So, no thoughts there, but hope you enjoyed it. Please provide feedback, you know, what you like, what you didn't like, and what you would like to see more of. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers with this brief interlude.